This month it's already generated me 70K in new clients in cash collected. So here are the 4 ways to get leads and clients using Instagram, starting with Instagram stories. Whenever you post a story with a call to action, make sure you delete all your other stories, because the Instagram stories algorithm works by looking at how people are taking action on your stories. So if you post 10 stories in a row, over time, people watch fewer and fewer of your stories because they swipe away, they get bored, they don't watch all of the 10 stories through. So if you have 100 people watch your first story and then 20 of those people swipe away, Instagram is seeing a 20% churn rate. So from the first story to the next, you go from 100 to only 80. And then if you lose 20% again, you go from 80 to 64. That's a signal to Instagram that you are not putting good stories up. Whereas if you just have one story up and you get tons of people replying to that story, Instagram sees that as really positive. People are engaging on your story. So instead of them swiping away or swiping to the next story, they're responding to the story, meaning that you get pushed up and you go closer to the top of all of the stories that are on that person's Instagram feed, meaning that more people then view your stories. Try it today and you will notice that you get significantly more views on your Instagram story. Okay, that was pretty tactical, but these little details are gonna be the thing that take you from not getting many leads to getting a ton of leads on Instagram. Now, the reason why some people are able to get so many inbound leads on Instagram, and maybe you're struggling to do so right now, is because of Brainwave Inception. So Brainwave Inception is where you can get into the mind of your most ideal client and identify what exactly the problems are that that person is struggling with. And then when you know exactly what those people want right now, you give a freebie that relates to the current problems and pain points that they're struggling with. Then from there, they respond to the post or the story and you get them in the DMs. You can set up an automation to send the free thing to them. I use Go High Level, but you could also use something like ManyChat. And while we're speaking about generating inbound leads on Instagram, the most important thing for you to remember is that you need to have something that people really want that gets them to raise their hand. Because without that, you will not find that you're getting a significant amount of results. And the best way that I found to identify what it is that people actually want is to keep a list of the problems that people tell you that they have when they become a client. So if you're on a sales call with somebody, keep a list of all the problems that they're saying, and then keep a short list of the problems that the prospects who become clients are saying that they have. Like, highlight that on a sheet, because those are the people whose opinion has the most weight, because they are the clients who have actually paid you money, and their problems should be brought front and center on social media so that you bring in more people just like them. And so you get more reach from those most ideal potential clients. And the other way that I like to get inbound leads is I add all of my potential clients to the close friends. And then once a week on close friends, I do an offer that says something like, I've had 3 spots open up for one-on-one coaching directly with me. Interested, reply info, and let's chat to see if it's a fit. Something really simple like that. I put it on close friends, and then people who are on my close friends are people that have booked sales calls with me in the past, or prospects that we've had conversations with in the DMs. And those people then start replying, and instead of having a long DM conversation back and forth, because they're coming in with intent, that's another one of the 17 psychological triggers, the whole conversation is really shortened down, and you just jump on a call with them and then see if the offer is actually a good fit. And because you'll be keeping a list of the problems that your new clients tell you that they have during sales calls, you can use that to make another post every week that tactically breaks down how your system overcomes that problem. So check this out. This is a post from one of my clients, Preston Lee, and this grew his following by more than 50,000. And this individual post resulted in more than 100K in new cash collected for his business. And because his clients are restaurant owners, what they tell him when they first start working with him is that their profits are really struggling. So he literally says, I've helped open 25 restaurants from the ground up. So that's authority, right? And pulled the data from all of them. And here was the biggest profit killer. So he uses that visual hook, and then in the caption, he breaks down how his system overcomes this profit killer problem. And because this is a lead generation post, he then gets them to comment a word in order to get a freebie that then gets sent into their DMs. And from there, he books sales calls with people who are good potential clients. This is the post that's got me the most clients using Instagram. This month, it's already generated me 70K in new clients in cash collected. Every time there's a calendar event or I have a live event, I use it. Jeanette Yee used it this week, and here's what happened. She generated 4 clients who each paid her $4,000. And Bridger also used it this week, and he closed 3 $6,000 clients paid in full. So here's the template, and I encourage you to use it this month too. The first line says, I'm not running a calendar event sale. So it could be, I'm not running a Christmas sale, or I'm not running a Black Friday sale, or I'm not running an Easter sale. So take whatever's going on in the world right now, or you could even say, I'm not running a sale for my birthday. Then the next line says, instead get, and then the name of your thing for free. So here you don't want to say get my blah blah course for free. You want to give it a name like I did right here, which is get my social media sales system free. And then just below that, you want a little bit of proof. So I said it's the exact system that founder used to generate 27.5K in 5 days. And the final line is just a call to action that says, want it, reply access, and I'll DM you the link. Now that's just one way on Instagram to get inbound leads. Every week you're going to post a direct call to action, both to your stories and to the feed, so that you can ensure that you keep your pipeline full. And it works because it has the curious intrigue psychological trigger embedded into it, plus the authority psychological trigger, meaning that people are curious about what is this social media sales system or whatever it is for you. Plus, because it has the proof baked in there, they see you as an authority and thus they will take the action. There are actually 17 psychological triggers in total, and I've got a way more in-depth training on all 17 and how to use them. So if you want that, there's a link just down in the description. If you're struggling to actually get inbound leads, what you can do is outbound. Now, my favorite type of outbound lead generation is actually outbound on inbound. And that's otherwise known as warm outbound. And what that means is that you're not just going cold and finding random people on the internet and reaching out to them. The issue with that is your messages often land in their message requests. Tons of people are doing cold outbound, and it just has really minimal impact. Instead, you're better off going with a content first strategy where you reach out to people who engage with you first. And again, you only really need this in the early days before you have enough people who are coming inbound towards you. But I have 5 ways that you can do outbound on inbound that are going to allow you to actually start driving leads as soon as today. Now, my favorite way to do this is via leveraging Instagram stories, because if you make a story post right now, in 5 minutes, if you go and look at who's viewed that story, those people who have viewed it have viewed within the last 5 minutes, which means they are online right now. And the best thing that I like to do is look at who's viewing the story, and then I go and tap on their profile and see if they look like an ideal client profile for me. And if they look like an ideal client profile, then I will use my reach out method, which is very simple. You give them a compliment and you ask them a question. So compliment plus question. This is the way to do successful outbound on inbound. So I go to their profile, and let's just say they are a personal trainer. I would say, wow, your client results over the last 20 years look incredible, especially that recent result with Cartley. And the next line would be an open-ended question that's going to get the conversation going in the direction that you want it to go. So let's just say you were a business coach. You'd say, and I just noticed that you've been checking out my stories lately. What are you most hoping to gain? More clients, more leads, or more profits from social media? And you see there how we don't just ask them an open-ended question with no potential answers. We use choice architecture, because if you give them 3 different options to reply to, oftentimes they'll say all of the above, or they might just pick one. And simply by responding to that question, they are answering it in a way which implies that they have a problem that you can solve with your business. And the Hyper Ninja way to do this story outreach technique is to, as I said earlier, add your ideal clients or people that you've had conversations with to close friends, and then post close friend stories, and then keep an eye as to who's watching the close friends. Like, just keep refreshing it, and then you'll see people start to watch it, and it means those people are online right now. So you can use the same outbound on inbound message that I just went through just a second ago, but those people are going to be more targeted because you've already hand selected that short list of people who you want on your close friends list. The third way I love to do outbound on inbound is kind of a sneaky hack, which I haven't spoken about before. But if you go onto Instagram.com, like on the laptop, right, on your web browser, and you go into the messages, if you have your phone open in front of you, you can look and see who's just recently followed you. So you have that open in your hand. And then on your laptop, you can go and click on that person's profile, open the messaging chat, and you can drag a pre-recorded voice memo into that chat. So I like doing it this way because it means that you can delegate that over to somebody on your team. And the voice memo should literally say what we said in the outreach message earlier. The only thing is you're going to have to remove the personal compliment, and instead you type that instead. Because then they know that it's not just like a mass automated voice memo or automated new follower message. Instead, by sending the voice memo, which is pre-recorded, and then going onto their profile and looking at their profile and finding something personal to compliment them on, you get the best of both worlds, and that is something that you can delegate over to your team. And in the early days, I recommend doing this between 20 to 50 people every day to keep your pipeline full, because in the beginning, you're not going to have so many leads, and your prospecting today is your pipeline tomorrow. So if you don't keep up with your outbound efforts before you have enough inbound, you're not going to get enough leads. You're not going to get enough clients. Plus, it's a way to really get to know who your ideal client profile is, and obviously ensure that you're getting enough clients directly from Instagram. So then the final 2 ways, if you're still struggling, if the story views aren't getting you enough people to reach out to, and you aren't getting enough new followers, then what you can look at is people who are commenting on your posts, reach out to them, and people who like the post too. Again, using the same framework as I mentioned earlier, compliment plus open-ended question with 3 potential responses. Now that's lead generation on Instagram, but of course, there's LinkedIn, there's X, there's YouTube, there's Facebook, there's all the other platforms. And I'll be doing videos on all of those too. But for now, let's show you how to grow your audience on Instagram so that you have more opportunity for inbound leads coming up in the next video.